guys, what is going on? This is One Take ASMR coming at you with another video. And today I have a special guest. Her name... Okay, so hey, what's going on, guys? This is One Take ASMR, and today I have a special guest with me. I have my puppy. Well, she's not really a puppy, she's a big dog now, but she's with me because she is being anxious. No, don't. She's trying to lick the mic, so she's being a bit anxious. I'm holding her while I make this video, just because if I don't hold her, she will bark, and it's currently almost 1 in the morning, and I do not want her barking all over, you know, all around the house and waking everybody up. And as well, she won't let me film this because she'll be walking around the house, and since we have wooden floors, even with us trimming her nails, she'll make noise. So if you hear her licking me, or if you guys can kind of hear me petting her hair like this, hopefully it's for a relaxing noise. And today I wanted to do some facts on the prehistoric life, as well as some prehistoric animals. And yeah, if you guys don't mind, let's get right into the video. Thank you. So fact number 1 kind of explains the further facts I will be going into. So this is after the Cretaceous period, also known as the Paleocene period, which lasted about 66 to 56 million years ago, during which the planet experienced a dry spell as life slowly recovered from the devastation. So this was a world of little creatures, as the extinction had killed off very large beasts on Earth. Eventually life did recover, but the first group of animals to truly recover and thrive were the birds. So a lot of the life, or the animals that started around this period, that we know as dinosaurs, were birds. And I think, I don't know if this is 100% like true, because it's like I read it somewhere, but aren't chickens the descendants, or like I guess the cousins of dinosaurs, meaning that chickens are the closest thing to dinosaurs? And I know birds are as well, because they say like when we see like Jurassic Park and you hear like animals roaring and like the T-Rex, a lot of people are saying that the T-Rex sounded more like the chicken, that we're not really sure exactly what they sounded like, just because we haven't found a preserved vocal cord from these animals. But since they're closely related to the chickens, they more sounded like birds than, you know, crocodiles, or you know, like very fierce animals. As well as it was found that a lot of dinosaurs might have carried feathers, because they say that the color of the dinosaurs cannot be, we didn't know exactly what color the dinosaurs were, because those things were not preserved over the million years that it took for them to be fossilized. So fact number 2 speaks of the largest snake species. The largest snake species ever discovered was found to have lived in the late Paleocene. It's estimated that the epically says coming right after the Paleocene, the Eocene lasted from 56 to 33 million years ago. It oversaw a period of hot temperatures worldwide, with lush rainforest on every continent. However, in the later half of the period, things changed dramatically as Antarctica froze for the first time ever, changing ocean current and weather patterns radically. The end of the Eocene witnessed another mass extinction, which, while not quite as bad as the event that killed the dinosaurs, still saw the end of 20% of all living things on the planet. And remember, there was 5 of those extinctions, with one of them, I think I wrote it down, but one, so it might be a later fact, but one of them was, I think one of them wiped out like 96% of all living creatures on Earth. Number 4 says, and I mean, we'll get into more of that, but usually there's like cycles in these, and with you know, these mass extinctions and stuff like that, you have species that normally wouldn't have been able to evolve or take over certain areas, taking over certain areas, and you know, kind of changing the ecosystem of those areas, stuff like that. But anyways, like I said, we'll probably get into that later. If not, that could just be like a whole other video. There's so many like branches to all of these. It's like you kind of learn about one thing, but that one thing opens the door to like endless other topics, and that's what's great about our past, as well as that it's so much information. Like, we know so much, but at the same time, we don't know everything. Like, there's so many things, so many mysteries that have yet to be discovered, or things that we'll think, oh yeah, that's what happened, and then you'll look at it and you'll be like, wait, no, that's not what happened, you know. And then we'll be confused, like, what exactly did happen. So some of it is guessing, and a lot of it actually is guessing, but you know, it's just very, you know, some of it is guessing, but it is very difficult, you know, to kind of be able to tell what has happened millions of years ago when some of the information is missing, because obviously you can only tell so much from things that were alive millions and millions of years ago. So, fact number 4 speaks on the largest species of ant ever discovered. This was found in both Wyoming and Germany, meaning it must have had an enormous range. It's been called the Titanomyrma. And the queen species were as big as hummingbirds. And one of the things I guess I wanted to explain before we talk more, or we get more into this, it says it expanded from Wyoming and Germany, and then it also kind of talked about earlier about other species being found, like in Antarctica. It said Antarctica froze for the first time, stuff like that. Just take into consideration that at these times, Pangea was still a supercontinent. We had Pangea going on, so this was around the time where all our continents were mashed up into one. That's why you see some of these dinosaurs were found on different continents back then. So yeah, just take that into consideration, you know, when it talks about finding these animals in 2 different continents and stuff like that. Number 5 says most people know about the huge extinction event, which meant we would never live to see dinosaurs. But long before dinosaurs even showed up, there was an even bigger extinction event which nearly destroyed things are bad. Thankfully, it wasn't actually the end of life on Earth, and now creatures eventually evolved to repopulate it. And that one of the things is why they say that cockroaches are hard to kill is cockroaches are very, like, they can live through a lot. Cockroaches is one of the only species that can live through an atomic bomb. And obviously when they talk about that the cockroaches or insects in general were almost extinct, that is a very, very serious problem. And I think in a later fact you kind of learn why. Or no, actually it's the next fact. Sorry, I thought I was thinking that it was a future fact, but it is the next fact. So fact number 6 says, over a relative short period of time, massive volcano eruptions from a large region known as the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province spewed forth huge amounts of lava and gas, including carbon dioxide, sulfur, and methane. This sudden release of gases into the atmosphere may have created intense global warming and acidification of the oceans that ultimately killed off thousands of plants and animal species, which as well killed off the marine biome. So a lot of marine animals were killed as well. New researchers at MIT, Columbia University, and elsewhere have determined that these eruptions occurred precisely when the extinction began, providing strong evidence that volcanic activity did indeed trigger the end of the Triassic extinction. Number 7 says, marking the end of the Triassic period and the onset of the Jurassic, this devastating event cleared the way for dinosaurs to dominate Earth for the next 135 million years, taking over ecological niches formerly occupied by other terrestrial species and marine species. Alright, so number 8, fact number 8, a major downside of the saber-toothed tigers was that their teeth were very fragile, and so the cats had to pin struggling prey to the ground before they could use their teeth to kill their prey. If not else, they might accidentally break off their fearsome chompers. Also, they would only be able to eat the fleshiest parts of a body, avoiding the bones that they wouldn't have been able to bite through. This would have been a gold mine for scavengers who didn't have oversized teeth getting in their way constantly. Number 9 says, in the immediate aftermath of the Bormian extinction, the most common creature on the planet and possibly the most successful animal of all time was the Lystrosaurus. While it sounds like it would be a dinosaur, Lystrosaurus was actually an ancestor of mammals. It ranged from about the size of a guinea pig to the size of a regular pig, and was descended from burrowing animals. It's believed that at one point, Lystrosaurus made up 95% of all terrestrial vertebrates. This is a record of success that has not been achieved before or since, unless the human race decides to one-up them, which hopefully we do not, because that would not be any good for for our planet. That would mean we would have to see a lot of animals go extinct, which that is a future fact. Or should I just go ahead and say it? I'll say that for number 12, since right now I only have 11 facts and I'm trying to do 20. I'll do that one for number 12. was the Parasaurolotherium, related to modern rhinoceros. It lived during the Oligocene epoch. It was estimated to weigh almost 44,000 pounds, stand nearly 16 feet tall at the shoulders, and carry a skull which was almost 4.5 feet long. The massive animal was a herbivore, and remains have been found across the Eurasian continent. And I looked up a picture, and that thing was way bigger than an elephant, and that thing was like a huge horse, but it looked like a rhinoceros. That thing was massive, but it was really, really interesting and really cool looking. And I imagine, what if we were able to, I guess, domesticate them? They would make like great, like in our past, they would make great like workhorses and stuff like that, because they look very strong. But that's even if we were able to domesticate them. But yeah, they look like really crazy, awesome creatures, and it would have been cool to have those still around. They're just massive and beautiful. So fact number 11 says 300 million years ago the planet had an unusually high oxygen content in its atmosphere. This allowed insects and other arthropods to get bigger than they ever been before or since. The biggest one yet to be discovered is the Arthroplera. It looked a lot like modern millipedes. Yeah, so it looked a lot like millipedes. The only difference was that this insect, grew up to be 8 feet long, which is disgusting. I hate insects, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't completely hate them, but if I were to see an 8-foot insect, I would freak out. That's just disgusting. But it's very, very interesting. And now for the fact that you guys were waiting for, fact number 12, and going back to the mass extinctions and speaking on the 96%, and the 5 extinctions that the 5 mass extinctions we have had in the past. So I'll get into more detail on this in the morning whenever I'm taking notes, but I'll kind of briefly go through this. Scientists kind of talk about how we might be in the 6th mass extinction, but this extinction isn't being caused by volcanoes and things like that, CO2 levels. It is being caused by global warming, but this global warming is being caused by humans themselves. And currently we have, I'm pretty sure the number has gone higher, but it's talking about 500 species that are on the verge of being extinct. And not only that, we're adding more and more animals to that list, and it's all due to humans. So humans might be the 6th mass extinction for these other animals, but we'll see what happens. Fact number 13 says, it talks about giant stone spheres. Some of these were dating back as to 600 AD, and they were spread out across the Tikis Delta of southern Costa Rica, known locally as Las Bolas, aka in English, the balls. These monuments were the works of a pre-Columbian civilization, and most are made from gabbro, I believe it's called, and that is a rock that forms from molten magma. The people who have carved these stones into their perfectly spherical shapes Americas, whether it be South or North America. We saw the extinction of a lot of native tribes, or as well, they were just taught like Christianity, things like that. The number 14 is as the rocky landscape of Turkey's Cappadocia region is home to dozens of underground cities that were once hand-carved from volcanic ash by their ancient inhabitants. One of the most elaborate of these subterranean metropolises is Derinkuyu, which contains 18 stories and enough space to house some 20,000 people. Amazingly, the site was only discovered as recently as 1963, when a local man knocked down a wall while renovating his home and uncovered a passageway leading to a vast network of stone tunnels and chambers. Experts are still unsure who built the Derinkuyu or when, but excavations have found that it once housed its own meeting halls, shops, freshwater wells, stables, and even heavy stone doors to protect its residents from danger. And I'll probably post a picture because those things are massive and they're so cool. They're awesome. It's like some, apocalypse kind of thing. Like, that would be a great place to kind of stay and live. But you would need like a lot of food and stuff like that. So the last fact is number 15, and it talks about clay. So clay is still used by Aboriginal people around the world today. Applying clay to open wounds was among the first medicines used by humans, as other animals also use clay to treat external injuries. It is believed early humans observed the behavior and applied it to themselves. And with that being said, that is the last fact I have for these prehistoric facts. Next episode, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, so I'm not even gonna comment on that. But yeah, I'll try to get another episode as soon as possible. I have some ideas that I want to do, but I just love the simplicity and as well kind of learning about these facts, so that's why I do these kind of videos. It's just fun for me. But anyways, you guys have a